And here we are.
Here
Here
we
we
are.
are. We'll restart the game real quick, just so that it's real fresh. King of Fighters 98. Now, the title of this game is really good. So it's super long. It is the King of Fighters 98, the Slugfest.
It's the 98th installment.
It is the 98th game in the series, and I think it also has multiple other subtitles. Maybe they're just other versions, like Dream Match Never Ends, and also just Dream Match. I think I don't know. It's a game with a great name, as all KOF games have, and
Were you gonna
it's
stream your
great.
screen so I could like record that?
Oh shit! I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, let me give it a try. If I can do that. Here, this part of the video can just be darkness.
Yeah.
Let's see. Share my screen.
It'll be just like the intro to your favorite like YouTuber Tobuscus, where it'll be darkness, then redness, then whiteness, and then the game will start.
Darkness, then redness, then whiteness. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, let's go on
Okay,
record
I'm
and
going
say
live.
right now that we both stand by everything Tobuscus has said and done.
Oh, careful now. We don't want to go that far. Okay. Here we are. King of Fighters 98. By the way, you're not allowed to cut any of what was discussed previously. You have to
Okay.
leave it all in.
Alright, all in.
Obviously, you'll be at best lazy to edit.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I was saying, this is one of my favorite fighting games. Definitely my favorite of fighters game.
It shaped you
Me,
as a
I judge
person.
fighting games based on. That's true, actually. Terry Bogard definitely shaped as a person. I base my life around his actions.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Christ figure. Except he's actually blonde-haired in real life. If he were real.
He's your
And,
genuine idol. You dress up and behave like him every day. Like every day at like your
you could say that.
like at your work. Like anytime like a customer gives you trouble, you just like shout Buster Wolf and then slide across the floor directly at them.
God, you have no idea how much I wish that was true, actually. It would be great. Yeah, that would rule. But as I was saying, I judge fighting games basically on the way that they feel, the way they control. That's my one main stipulation.
Yeah.
And of all the King of Fighters games, this one just feels the best. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. It's perfect. It feels great. The cast is amazing. And it looks cool. This is the golden era of King of Fighters. Like, if anybody tells you this is their favorite KOF game, you can't blame them for feeling that way.
I've personally never played any King of Fighters games, so I would not know.
That is probably because, like myself, but perhaps even more so in your case, you don't have any Hispanic heritage,
That I do not.
which is an automatic predisposition towards being a KOF player. People from Mexico, Brazil, Korea, and China rule this game. Those are the regions that are best known for loving this game because Neo Geo arcade machines were cheaper than Capcom ones. Neo Geo being the system that this game was made for by the company SNK, which is probably like my favorite arcade developer, just because of like KOF and Fatal Fury. I think they're so cool.
That actually makes a lot of
I love
sense
this
because like
company.
all of the Sega consoles and arcade machines were like incredibly popular and still are in those areas.
Yep, like Sega stuff is super popular, SNK stuff is popular, but those Capcom machines, which I forget what they were called. I can't remember what the Capcom machines were called. Oh,
Cap
CPS.
consoles.
Yeah, CPS 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, essentially. Those were more expensive, I suppose.
Yeah.
And around this time in 1998, like the Street Fighter 3 series was coming out, which like graphically is more advanced. But SNK was just reusing these sprites shamelessly. No shame at all. And the games, they still look cool. They hold up.
Yeah. Like, we all
And I'm
know that
getting
you used to
aspie by the
practice like
CPU.
Street Fighter moves, like Guile's movesets in your bedroom while listening to Green Day. Did you ever like practice Terry's movesets in your bedroom?
Absolutely. 100%. I was doing power waves on the floor.
Were you?
I mean, you just all true. I won't about that.
Yeah. Did you ever
I
get
haven't
the funny
played the
blue
game
wave to come out?
long ass. I tried many times, never worked.
No.
Your first awareness of Terry, was that in Smash Bros?
Not exactly. Like, it's my first experience with Terry in a video game, but like, I'm like a vintage toy enthusiast and how I care about like goofy old dolls and that's it. My introduction to Terry was
Right.
through like this like super rare like Terry Bogard like doll from like an SNK versus Capcom doll line where he had like little jeans and like a little like leather jacket you could take off and he was like super cool. Like that doll
Sweet.
is sick as
That's
fuck.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, SNK has some of the coolest, weirdest merch ever. And I love the characters so much. Like, I probably like King of Fighters characters more than I like Street Fighter characters. They were just always like more fashionable than Street Fighter characters
Yeah.
by a long shot.
Like I was like even though I'm not like an SNK like King of Fighters fan, that doll, like I was very tempted to get it. It is so goddamn cool.
Terry is fucking awesome.
He
And he's
is.
like the
This is
mascot of SNK.
He's
He's
got so much
a
style. He's
badass.
got so much drip.
And he may not be an Italian plumber, but he is an American. You know, he does have a rough and tumble style. Him and Mario would probably get along pretty well. He's from the big city, you know.
Yeah. You know what? Going back to the doll, my
No, but
first thought when I saw that was, "Holy shit, this is Aiden."
see, that is exactly what I want to hear because
Yeah.
that's what I intend to get off in daily life. No joke. He's just the fucking best because not only is he a sick video game character, he's like good to aspire to. You know, he's a fucking cool guy. A large part of his character development is adopting his worst enemy's son and raising him as his own. That's
No,
fucking cool as hell.
like I cannot get off across like just how much you actually dress like Terry in your real day-to-day life. Like I'm not exaggerating for anything.
They would be shocked by the truth of that statement, I think.
Yeah.
It's very true. And it's intentional, or at least it was when I was developing as a young fellow.
Yeah. I wonder if I ever like dressed as a video game character because I thought it was cool. I don't think so, but I don't think my memory is good enough to remember.
Maybe you subtly made fashion choices as a result of that. Like, personally, I made some intentional choices to be like Terry. For example, the red Converse. I already wore
Yeah.
Converse before that, but ever since becoming a fan of Terry, I've only bought red ones like him. And it continues to be so, even into my adulthood. Yeah.
Oh, you died. I thought you were supposed to be like
Yeah.
the best at this game.
Yeah, I'm so good. I definitely don't lose every single match to a racist Brazilian every time I play this game.
Yeah. You used to go to like fighting tournaments. Do you ever do any for like King of Fighters?
I played King of Fighters 14 once in tournament, but I hadn't practiced that one. I did real bad, and I was never good at fighting games anyway, so it was not a pretty sight. But I was
Yeah.
always better at Street Fighter than I was at King of Fighters, because it's just a lot easier to play.
Is there any like goofy like shit going on with the control scheme?
Well, kind of, yeah, because Street Fighter, as you may know, is 6 buttons. You have light, medium, and heavy for punches and kicks.
Yeah.
King of Fighters is cool because Neo Geo machines only have 4 buttons. So there's 2 punches and 2 kicks instead of there being 3 each, which I personally like a lot. I think that's great. It forces them to be more creative with the moves, kind of. It's a little simpler to get used to.
It's a lot more
And a lot of people
manageable.
now, when I play that real Neo Geo cabinet, like some of them are horrible. The way they're configured usually is they're really close to the ground for short people, which makes it impossible for me. And the buttons are usually configured all in a row. Like, why the fuck would you have the 4 buttons in a row? Like, if it's 6 buttons, I get it. You have 2 rows of 3. I can deal with that. But a row of 4 is horrible. So when I set my own controller to play this game, I set it in a box. So I have the 2 light attacks on the left and the 2 heavy attacks on the right. And that is by far the superior configuration. Because how the hell are you supposed to be always pushing the last button with your pinky? That is not sensible.
Like that definitely sounds
Doesn't work for
terrible to me. Like 4 buttons in a row.
Yeah, it sucks. Ugh, I died.
Again?
This game is hard. The thing about SNK is not only were their machines cheaper, but they were more cheap to play on, or the enemies were cheaper, because they were fucking cheaters. Like, these SNK games were hard as fuck.
Yeah. Is it like normal fighting game difficulty, like cheap, hard, shitty bullshit, or is it like something special?
It is normal fighting game bullshit, but just amplified a little bit, especially on the final bosses. Like, SNK bosses are the hardest bosses in fighting games by far. Terry's English voice lines are like the thing that made me love him initially. Like, the shit he says is fucking amazing. Power wave. Oh, it's so good.
Like, I have all of his voice lines just downloaded in like a little assets folder in my video editing like library, just because they're like super convenient.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Mostly I use them every time we need to like censor something, like when you say the word you do every video.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very problematic. You need to stop doing that.
Right? Like Terry Bogard's Day Out or whatever. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that. Describe it to me.
You haven't seen that? Holy shit. It's just a video where someone animates their goofy OC to be talking to Terry Bogard, and Terry just talks in his goofy voice lines for the whole video.
Hey, are you ready to go?
Changing!
Well then, whenever you're ready.
Okay! Are you okay?
I'm never okay. Okay.
No. Like, for a second there, I was thinking about that one, like, I guess abridged, like, fighting game cutscene video that you like a lot. The one where they, like, just keep, like, spouting slurs and, like, swearing at each other. And it's, like, a weird anime OVA. What is that one?
I know exactly which one you're...
What is that one?
That one is of, like, the movie. Or maybe it's a Fatal Fury movie. And it's, like, Kim Kapwan Terry or something. And they're fighting and being like, oh, fuck you, man, what the fuck? And it's, like, super funny. But the one I'm talking about is like someone's cringy anime OC being like, hey, Terry, what do you do today? He's like, Power Wave! And it's awesome.
That sounds awesome. That sounds like the type of shit that I would love.
Yeah, it's super good, and it's like some good cringe.
Yeah.
But it's OG. Love it, because it's actually a little bit funny.
It sounds like it's in the same vein of like the Smash Bits Overwatch animations. The guy, like, just this normal guy talks to the Overwatch characters, and then the Overwatch characters are just their like voice lines, and it's like really stupid and unwatchable. I fucking hate those.
It probably
videos.
is exactly like that. Yeah. So they don't have that problem. Overwatch characters don't matter.
Yeah. I fucking hate Overwatch.
There we go.
Yeah.
I played it for a little bit because it was popular, and I hated it. Like, I'm just not good at team games, though, or any games.
I don't know. Like, I tend to enjoy, like, PvP arena games. I've been getting into more HAL a lot recently. But, like, Overwatch...
You've been playing more now?
Yeah. I've been going down, like, the /pol alt-right pipeline.
Ew!
That's not true.
Yeah, that's
Nah.
It's a funny joke to me, though. It fits.
Yeah, I made a new friend recently, and he plays, like, a lot of more HAL. He used to play competitively, and he's been kicking my ass, like, non-stop.
Nice,
so
that's
been
awesome.
A lot of fun.
Having a friend who's, like, good enough to get the shit out of you is, like, that can be pretty fun.
Yeah, like 2 days ago, I spent like 2 hours just like getting my ass kicked like non-stop straight. I was sweating and crying by the end of it. It was awful, but it was awesome. I loved it. Like, to get beaten so terribly in like a fighting game is amazing.
It is.
Oh shit, it's Goku.
It shapes you. It makes you strong. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
On Super Saiyan. I hate this guy, Andy Bogard, because if you can't tell, he's Terry's brother, and he's way fucking lamer.
The guy in the orange, or the guy in the, like, flame pants?
The guy with the flame pants is Terry's brother.
I don't really see the family resemblance.
No, exactly. The only thing they share is long blonde hair. But otherwise, Andy's a bitch.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually playing as like my second or third favorite character, which is Ralph. He's my goat.
I like his little bandana.
This is the guy that I used to cheese out every fucking tournament that I would play in this game. Is like I would suck with every character except Ralph, because Ralph is fucking broken. He's so good and so easy.
Yeah.
Look at that. He takes you back. It's so sick. You know how in like Street Fighter grappler characters they have to like sneak up on you and grab you, right?
Yeah.
Well, in this game you can combo into the grabs, so it's cheap.
Like Smash Bros. Luigi.
I guess so. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Oh, this is my other favorite character, Robert.
Because his name is Robert.
Yep, that's the best thing about him.
I don't know, that's not a very good like name for a fighting guy.
There's a really famous video where some dude is dressed up as this character, Robert, and he like starts doing some kicks in like the lobby of a hotel thing, and his friend who's recording him goes, "Oh shit, it's Robert from the King of Fighters."
Oh shit, it's Robert from King of Fighters.
And then the video ends, and it's scary.
That's awesome.
It's Robert's claim to fame. It's really, there's so many good KOF videos. I'm telling you, it's such an obscure fighting game compared to the amount of good fucking memes that it has produced, because they're so obscure. But there are so many amazing videos of like Mexicans dressed up as KOF characters doing like real life cosplay fights where they like pro wrestle each other in KOF outfits. It's amazing.
I love that.
Yes, it's so good. There's so many, like, you know, Mugen, that like fighting game engine where people make their OCs.
Yeah.
The number one export of this game is two things. So Dragon Ball Z characters in Mugen is probably like the biggest thing. And then the second biggest thing is people making like super powered versions of the KOF characters and making them fight as DPUs with dramatic music in the background and being like Super Ultimate Shadow Yuri versus Golden Snake God Kyo and having them fight and do like 20 billion hit combos on each other. And it's fucking amazing. You gotta link one of these videos.
You gotta like send me some of those videos. I love shit like that.
It's the best. But actually, what I want to talk about the most is that my favorite like YouTube meme of all time is made of KOF 98, and I will now describe it.
Yes, in
It
detail.
is a series of videos. It's an incredibly obscure Korean YouTube channel with like 200 subscribers or something, and it's like a photography where a guy posts like video of a guy like just like ducks and grass and shit. And it has a link to an old like 2000s blog. But the other thing on the channel, if you look close, is like Let's Plays with no commentary. And like several of these are KOF 98 Let's Plays. But even though they have no like vocal commentary, they have subtitles and a ton of editing with audio clips and like clips from like Korean manhwa inserted in. And they're the funniest shit ever, because even though I can't read a lick of the Korean subtitles, the fucking sound effects that they choose are godlike. And it's called like KOF 98 GGPO, and every video has the same title. And it's just videos of this game, and the guy posts him doing online matches, and every time the characters get hit and shit, like if he hits the opponent, he puts like a laugh sound effect. And if they hit him, he puts like a crying sound effect. And they're so fucking funny. And every time this character Rio hits the opponent with his super attack, he puts in like a 20-minute like edited cutscene and like screaming sound effect. It's so fucking funny. Like I cannot describe to you how good it is. You have to watch them. They make me cry with laughter.
Alright, you're absolutely gonna have to link me though, so I don't have to do any like deep like internet detective work to find them.
Yeah, they're fucking hilarious. I want everyone to watch them, so I'm evangelizing them extensively right now because it's the funniest shit I've ever watched in my life.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was exhausting to describe, but it's so funny.
No, like there's been times where I've been editing a video and it takes me like 3 days after editing it to upload it because I have to do like 3 days of like deep internet archive research to find like some obscure shit we like mentioned.
And usually it's something that we both know. But in this case, I found definitely had some deep knowledge.
Yeah. God. It took me like a week to find that one video of like the Hitalia cosplayer like dressed as Ukraine asking for people to dress up and like do Hitalia cosplay for them.
Oh my god, that's some deep lore.
Yeah.
Deep.
I don't even
But
think...
you know what?
Yeah.
I've come to respect for the authenticity and dedication to internet lore.
Yeah. Like, there's
Someone
literally
has to be a
nothing I
modern
love
day
more
monk
than
and
these,
do
like, fucking, like, classic goof-ass, like, OG YouTube cringe videos. It's been a very long time since
Oh
I've
my
done,
god,
like,
he
any-
just
Oh. Yikes. But no, it's been, like, probably a couple months since I've gone, like, cringe mining.
Wow, that's probably the longest you've gone in a while.
Yeah.
They used to be daily.
Yeah. I've been getting healthier, I've been growing as a person.
That's good to hear. I'm glad.
Yeah.
The other weird thing about this game is that it's kind of hard to get used to the movement, because unlike Street Fighter, you don't just walk and jump. In this game, you also have a backdash, a run, which Street Fighter doesn't have. You have a roll in both directions, and you have 4 different kinds of jumps.
4 different jumps? Is it like technical like
Yeah, you have
differences
your-
where it's just like the button press length, or is it like 4 different button combinations, or what?
It's based on the like length of time for which you push the stick to jump, and how like long you hold it, and it controls distance and angle of the jump. So you have 2 kinds of short hops, you know, one of which goes further than the other, and then you have 2 kinds of long jumps, one of which goes higher. And it's pretty wild.
Yeah, that sounds like really hard to get used to.
It is, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that actually hard to do. It's just hard to figure out when to use each type.
Yeah. Like, stuff like that in fighting games, like, always makes them really difficult for me to, like, get good at them, because I am not very dexterous or, like, fast.
You do most of your battling in the verbal category.
Yeah. But no, like, it takes me weeks to get down, like, a precise timing for, like, moves or whatever. Like, the funny, like, what is it? The rope grapple for, like, Kevin Mask and Ultimate Muscle Grand Prix 2. That took me, like, 2 weeks to get the timing for, and I still, like, fuck it up half the time. It's terrible.
Yeah, execution is not your strong suit, but it's not really your fault because you get a blister every time you play a fighting game.
Like, unironically, my hands are so weak and soft.
Meanwhile, I am calloused and strong upon my hands.
Yes, you're a mighty warrior.
I'm getting a little better. I'm remembering my old tricks, because I used to be okay at this game, but I've lost all of those skills. There's so many things to do.
It's tragic. You don't like to spend an hour every night, like, practicing your King of Fighters 98 main, so you don't get rusty?
At one time, that was my life, but not anymore. I'm retired.
Nah. You have better things to do with your life now? Like work 9 to 5
I
and...
guess I do.
I don't know, I guess... What else do you do with your life besides work 9 to 5 and fiddle with guitar?
Well, that is most of it, to be completely honest with you. Being employed really changes a lot for a person. I was thinking of that today. I was like, there are so many issues that I could have that being employed just solved, and I never thought having a job was the solution to them.
Yeah.
And yet there are also so many problems that arise when you do gain your employment. So it's kind of a complex paradox there.
I know you've been working on, like, some, songs recently. The one you linked a couple days ago is really good. Have you been working on a bunch of stuff lately? Or just that one?
I am. I feel like I've hit kind of the springtime of my artistic career. Like, I'm now in a place where I feel like every piece of music that I make is, like, building towards something, whereas in the past it was very disorganized. Now I feel like the more that I do, the closer I get to, like, having something of substance that I can share. So I have been working. It's hard to find the time, and I'm a very momentum-based person where it's difficult for me to start projects, and it's difficult for me to, like, continue them if I get interrupted. So I'm working very slowly. But I do have a lot of ideas, and I would like to release, like, a compilation of songs at some point. once I
Yeah.
feel like I have enough.
Like, I'm kind of the same way
It's
when
really
it comes to projects. Like, I have to do it in one sitting. I cannot stop, and it's very hard to start them.
Yes, that's such a difficult thing. Like, if I start working on a song and I have to go to work the next day, I will stay up to finish it.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't start a lot of the time, is because I know that if I start, it's not going to stop. You know?
Yeah, like back when I was still in college for RT, or like whenever I work on my terrarium stuff, like it's not uncommon for me to just like do it from start to finish and spend like 17 hours on something that I don't want to do, just because I can't stop.
Right. I have so much endurance mentally. Like, I can work for a long time, but whenever I'm not working, I feel so directionless, and it is like a real problem that I would
Yeah.
love to figure out a solution to, but I haven't quite matured to the point of like having a good work-life balance.
Yeah. How's your band stuff been going? You still in a band? Did you ever join a band? I think you said you were in a band.
I'm not.
No?
I was in a band at one time, but like it was weird because it was mostly operated over internet,
Yeah.
which is kind of complicated. And there was just one time where I sent the guy a demo for like a song that we were making, and he didn't respond to it, which he often didn't because he was busy. Like, I would have to like just text him twice to get feedback. And that time I was just feeling very like kind of busy and wanting to
Yeah.
do other things. And he didn't respond, so I was just like, okay, I'll just wait until he responds to do anything else. And then he never did.
Oh, that's too
So
bad.
it just kind of fizzled. It was, but I don't regret it too much because I was kind of, I don't know, like I felt bad at the time, but I would get kind of stressed working on that stuff because it felt like there was a deadline even though there wasn't. So I think it's good for me to kind of work on things on my own for a while until I get a good workflow.
Yeah, I feel that. I think you showed me some of the stuff that you like did for like, I guess, singing. Some of the singing you did from around
Yeah.
that time, and that was all really good.
Thank you. And I like the descriptor of I guess singing 'cause
Yeah.
it was like
I don't
that's
know.
exactly what
How would I
it was
describe
like,
that? It's just
kind-
singing.
Yeah.
You like heavy metal vocals?
It was an interesting time. Yeah, I didn't feel confident about the vocals, but it was really fun. However, it was also really hard because I had like 5 songs to work on
Yeah.
and no directive. Like, that's one thing that I love from that experience is that like if somebody gives you the project, they're typically just like do what you want with it. But
That's not
if they
helpful
don't
at all.
give you like a path, yeah, if you're not good at self-directing, which I'm not, then it's really hard to work with. So I think the thing that I've learned is if I ever work with someone on their project, I need to be extremely clear about what they want me to work on, and vice versa. Like, if I'm giving someone my project to work on, I need to give them a clear direction about like, here's what you need to work on first.
You need like a
'Cause that made it a
bulleted
lot
list of objectives.
Honestly, like even at work, I found that because of my personality type, it's hard to do things and be productive if I don't have some kind of goal. Like, even if I know what needs to get done, if I don't have a first step, I find it hard to
Yeah.
get started. Whereas some people are really good at deciding where to start. It's just not me.
It definitely feels like we have a lot of the same like issues when it comes to working on projects.
Yeah, I think so too. We're both naturally just sleepy people
Yeah.
who would rather spend distances.
I am chronically sleepy.
Yeah, it's rough. Like, my sister was talking about today. She was like, "Oh, I go to my therapist and we talk about my anxieties and how to like productively deal with stuff." And I was like, "Imagine being able to go to someone and tell them about your problems and they could help you solve them." Whereas like my problem is I'm never worried and I don't do anything, which means there's nothing for me to stop doing or for someone to tell me I shouldn't do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very happy that like it could be better if I cared. I don't know.
Yeah, like I used to go to a
It's
therapist, but I just kind of stopped over time for like similar reasons. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to communicate
It all
those
depends.
things, and then there's not really anything you can do to help about that, I guess.
Right. It's like it's completely up to one's own decisions in a way.
Yeah.
Wow, very deep episode. It's very intellectual.
Yeah. I'm a 172
King of
IQ,
Fight-
like, card-holding member of Mensa.
Yeah, and that's why you choose to make videos,
Yeah.
because of your IQ.
There was this like one like semi like small channel that I like a lot, like Liars for Hire, and like the one dude Chase like had like a full like 2-episode arc on their podcast about like becoming a Mensa member and then like doing a Mensa cast where he like I guess abandoned his friends to be smart. It was really funny. I
That's
liked that episode a
hilarious.
lot. Yeah.
I used to listen to podcasts or a podcast a lot. And they can be some of the funniest forms of entertainment
Yeah.
because you like get inundated with a group's inside jokes and you feel like you're a part of the group in a way.
Yeah. Like if you ever need a podcast to listen to, Liars for Hire is peak. The first episode is kind of garbage, but after that it really picks up pace.
Did you ever try to make a podcast?
No, nobody ever wants to do my podcast ideas.
No, God, why did I bring that up? I forgot about those. I wish I had mentioned that. Because now I've opened up a fucking Pandora's box. Now I know you never made a podcast. I could have remembered that.
As I slowly make more new friends in my life, I'll eventually find someone who'll do like the bed and breakfast and bedfast and fuck podcast. It's really hard to say, but you know what I mean.
The mental correct person to do this.
Yeah.
God, it's terrible. It's terrible.
All right, let's think of a better podcast idea right now. We need a focus.
How about you go out into the world with like a microphone and you record at least one of your daily interactions, and then you consult your like circle of evil podcast and you discuss the social interaction, what you thought of the person, you gossip about them, and you like talk about them and they don't even know they're being talked about behind their back. Like you're like, I spoke to this man at the train station today. He was so ugly. Here's the conversation we had. Let's make fun of him.
Unironically, that would be a very good podcast. It'd be like a all gas no brakes type of deal, but it would have like just I guess that mean-spirited like gossip part at the end, which I think would be awesome.
Right, it could be like an ironic way of, you know, the way people on Twitter make drama with each other and their mutuals
Yeah.
over nothing. It'd be like taking that and doing it with unsuspecting real life people as a way of making fun of how stupid the internet is. Like a real life version of quote tweeting somebody where you like quote their tweet and say, wow, what a fucking dumbass. And they might not even realize. Like, I can't believe one of my followers is such. They should, you know, do X. I'm about to die in this.
Yeah. We should start Twitter drama.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should. But I have probably sent a tweet or even retweeted a tweet in like a year, and yet I still use Twitter on a daily basis.
I've been starting to like use Twitter a bit for like just freelance stuff and that kind of thing. I've made it like a couple of like
cool.
people I could like just be like, yo, you fucking suck, you're a dumbass, here's why. It'd be completely unwarranted.
I mean, how could it ever be warranted, really? On Twitter, you know, of all places.
Yeah.
And now that it's called X, all the laws they're gone. There's no honor.
Yeah. I hate using
The
Twitter.
Muskosphere.
It is such an abysmal like thing to use. I hate it so much.
It's probably the worst website like to users ratio ever. Like it has so many users for being such a shitty bad website.
Yeah.
Like the video player isn't good, the videos aren't good, the posts aren't good, the character limit isn't good. The UI it's fine for getting interaction, I guess. The only thing Twitter is good for is the fact that like it's like a continuous feed, I guess. So it's like good for artists in a lot of ways.
I guess, but it doesn't have good, like, image archival. It's just like a straight line you have to scroll down
No, it
chronologically. That's so fucking bad.
The archival is, yeah, it's trash, which makes it pretty much like if you follow an artist, it's just a way to get to their other profiles that do have good archival, like American artists having a DeviantArt or Newgrounds and Japanese artists having a Pixiv. Not that I would know.
Not that you would know.
Yeah.
You're not like purchasing scabs every other day.
I don't even know what that word means, to be fully honest with you. It sounds very online.
Yeah, there's like this Japanese website called like Scab or whatever, where you like throw money into the ether and you have like an art prompt, and then like anybody can draw that art and then claim that money.
Oh, hey, that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
I like that. If you have money to throw away.
Yeah, it's a little more like different than what I described it as, but I don't really use it, so I wouldn't be able to like, I guess, give a more accurate representation.
I think that websites that give an opportunity for rich people to bring back patronage are good. Like, rich people should waste their money on things like hiring artists. But back in the day, they would like commission a composer and have them live at their house and shit to make music. Nowadays, it's all online, so there need ways for artists to like go into the service of rich folk and just make a bunch of shit for free.
Yeah.
Or like free to themselves.
Do you have any cool work stories from like the past couple of weeks?
I guess the coolest thing is that I'm a manager now.
Oh,
I'm a big
nice.
boy.
You're moving up in the world.
I really am, in a weird sort of way. I'm getting prestige and authority.
How does it feel being employed, you proletariat goober? I don't know where I was going with this. I couldn't think of anything.
It's you know what? It's great. And Karl Marx sure did a lot of complaining. But
Yeah.
I like my job, though I see his points. I would like if my job was better, even though it's already good.
Everything I know about Karl Marx I got from like this, I guess, parody YouTube channel making fun of like, I guess, conservative and alt-right, like, philosopher type people with the whole like feels versus reals type of deal, and it's just like, I guess, the bad side of the argument taken in like a stupid like way, but like nobody realizes that it's satire, so everybody's agreeing with it. I think.
Oh god, I hate that so much.
So like the stupid side agrees with it, and then the not stupid side also agrees with it because it's like parody, it's obvious satire. It's like feels versus reals, I think is the name of the video. It's
like, it's universally beloved because the people who it's satirizing think it's good, and the people who see the satire also think it's good, so it's just winning on all fronts.
They don't have the media literacy to realize it's like ironic. I don't know. How do you feel about like videos where like it's ironic to a point where people with poor media literacy don't get it?
I think that irony poisoning can be bad, but I also love like when it takes just the slightest bit of context to understand, which means that some people won't get it. I think that can make it funnier, you know?
I mean,
so I'm for it if it's executed well.
Like, I feel like stuff like that is like hilarious, but I also feel like it is inherently harmful, like in general.
Right. It's like, I agree. I was just saying, like, irony poisoning in general, and too much irony is just deeply bad for the human psyche.
Yeah.
When you watch like movies from the 1980s, if there's an ironic joke in the movie, it's played so goofy and so obvious that you'd have to be genuinely stupid to miss it. Whereas nowadays, everything is inundated with multiple layers of irony, which means if you're not being ironic, you're completely isolated from culture in general. Like, things have changed a lot and nothing is sincere anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the subtlety of irony in general going up is for the best because it makes people more critical of the words they hear, but I also feel like probably not because in reality it doesn't do that.
Right. Like, that's what it's supposed to do, but that gets exhausting after a while, which means that most people aren't actually on that level.
Yeah, just gotta take everything at face value. Yeah.
I think there's something to be said for just being very genuine and not worrying about trying to be on inside like the discourse, because once you get obsessed with it, you eventually enter an echo chamber where nothing actually gets accomplished.
I like when you're like browsing subreddits for like games that you like that are actively being worked on, and people make like goof-ass balance suggestions that are obvious jokes, and then you get like 7 paragraphs on why that's actually a bad idea.
It's so rough, and it's especially bad on Reddit, but like every website you go on, somebody can make the most innocuous comment that in real life would clearly be like something that people would just go like, whatever, they would ignore it and the conversation would continue. But online, people can argue with it for hours just because they feel like it. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I made it to the final boss.
Man, that was fast.
This guy is like the most legendary, like quote unquote hard final boss ever because he's bullshit.
He's wearing the suspenders just hanging loose like a hipster kid from the early 2010s.
Like a total badass.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love images of like arcades in Mexico where they have a picture of this guy's face like taped to the arcade cabinet and it just says banned because you're not allowed to play as him.
That's awesome.
If you play as him, you'll be kicked out of the arcade and beaten up.
We need to go to that one arcade in like the indoor bike place here one of these days.
So I've been there, and I went there before the pandemic, and it was awesome, and they had a lot of great machines. But I will say, I went there within the last month, and it was completely different.
Oh no.
I don't know if I was just stupid and I couldn't find it, but I swear, the door to where the arcade was before was blocked off, and it was replaced with a bunch of like little emulator consoles.
Oh, that's so dumb.
With a bunch of NES and SNES games. So some of the games were fun, but it was not the same, and it made me really sad.
Do you think it was like a situation of like, I guess whoever owns the business not realizing that arcades aren't profitable and having to like downsize? Or do you think it was just like something else?
I'm guessing it definitely could have had something to do with profitability because, yeah, I bet they were not making much money off of that. And it could just be a situation of like it got too expensive to maintain the arcade machines or not enough people were attending. Or maybe the person who owned the arcade machines just decided to sell them or something. I don't know.
Do you hear that like deep pulsating like bass like just coming in from the background? What the fuck is that?
This definitely... First of all, I like how you say bass. That's funny. Second of all, this is definitely a very like dance club-esque theme, so that makes sense.
No, it's coming from like outside my window. It is like vibrating the entire house.
I don't hear that. That's crazy. So is somebody in their car outside listening to like mega bass boosted hip hop?
I guess so. Like it like just stopped.
Nice.
But no, it was like vibrating my bones there.
That's awesome.
I feel like an arcade is one of those like passion project like businesses that you do when you're old and you have like too much money to like not do anything with. It's like in the same vein as like a vintage toy store where it's like you do it because you like vintage toys and you have all that money, not because you want to make a profit.
Yeah, it's like a job. Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And that's why I think a lot of them shut down, is because they end up being more work than the person actually wants to put in.
Yeah.
There is a really good arcade actually across the street from where the one at the bike park is.
Yeah.
It's a bar arcade, which is like a more profitable way to run an arcade, definitely. And it's called well, I guess I won't say what it's called, but it's cool. And the games are not necessarily like classic fighting game oriented, but they have some decent games, and they're really cheap because all you got to do to play them is you buy a drink and then you can play as much as you want.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool. And a bunch of machines, and some of them are really cool. Like they have Area 51, which is a really fun arcade game to play because it's very nostalgic, you know.
Yeah. It's not one of those situations where they get you super drunk so you lose at the video games and lose all your quarters. It's video games for the sake of just video games.
They do have a non-alcoholic drinks. Like you can get an orange cream soda, you know, or a root beer. So
Yeah.
you don't have to be drunk. It's pretty cool.
I feel like it's been too long since I've been drunk.
It's been a while. What is the last time when you were at my house?
Yeah. It's been like over a year at this point.
That's a long time considering the fact that you are old enough to purchase your own alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like alcohol that
Oh,
much.
shit,
Like, it's definitely one of those things where it's, I guess, only if I want to be a complete nuisance to the people around me.
It's true because every single time you drink alcohol, you go bleh, 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 every time you take and you physically you keep drinking anyway because you just want to be drunk.
It gets so gross. Like, it is nasty beyond belief.
I think that's
Yeah.
all you can. Oh shit! I beat him.
Oh, nice.
Hey, let's go.
I always knew you could do it. I never
Fuck
stopped
yeah.
believing, not even for a moment.
Thank you. I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of
Oh, look
you.
at the sweet cutscene.
He grew a mustache.
I think he had it before.
Did he?
Look how edgy he is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that loud. Good. Subtle explosion sound effect to signify his death.
Did he truly die or did he fake his death?
I think that canonically he is actually dead. But he's appeared in games since because King of Fighters has a bunch of non-canon entries.
Like the
Naturally.
one where Terry's a girl.
Exactly like that, yes.
Get ready. Round 4, fight. Power wave. Ha!